feel that. I can walk in a room and feel that.
Yeah.
But I also know that that's not real, because I've had spiritual experiences, hallucinogenic experiences that make me feel that the relationships we should be building have to honor that we're vulnerable and flawed, but also capable of greatness. There has to be room for all of this. And I feel that part of what we're doing and part of why we're experiencing such superficial polarity in politics and culture is because we're not acknowledging that underneath this surface activity of left, right, and you know from Sam Harris, them little experiments, you stick garbage in front of someone, they become Republican pretty quickly, or you scare people, they become less democratic. I think all that stuff is pretty superficial, and at depth, in that realm of the jesters and the membrane of psychedelia, we have access to oneness, and that should be what's influencing the way we set up our tribes, our systems, and our relationships.
Yeah, and I think when a guy like Kevin Hart shows you what a positive and motivational impact one person can have, just with his words and his deeds and the way he lives his life, he's so inspirational that you realize that is possible, that you can share that energy, and that you can have these experiences with people where they literally actually uplift you. Like I was uplifted by his conversation. I felt like, wow, that guy is so positive. What a great way to look at the life that we're living. And the more people do that, the better. And when someone like that does spread a positive message, and obviously he's materialistic as well. He's got a bunch of cars and a big house, and he makes a lot of money, and he does a lot of movies. But what he's spreading is this very motivational, very positive message, and that affects people in a very positive way too. And all that left-right shit and all this, all the battles that we have politically and ideologically back and forth, and all the negative venom that people spray at each other, at the end of the day, it's not benefiting anyone unless you're fighting a major demon that the world needs to conquer. And most of it's not that. Most of it is like finding demons out of innocuous things, And I think when you talk about what you have to offer, what you have to offer is that you are you, that you have this unique perspective. You can affect the way people view their own journey in life because you've been so introspective and so aware of your own pros and cons in terms of your past behavior, your current behavior, and who you are now and who you used to be. All that stuff is fuel for people because they can relate. They hear it. I mean, maybe they cannot relate to being a movie star and being this famous guy and the struggle, but they can relate to the humanity of your struggle. They put themselves in your position. And what must that have been like? And look at this guy who's made these conscious decisions to not be like that anymore. He dresses like a homeless person with a crazy beard.
That's the real take-home information. Dress like you live out of doors.
Yeah, dress like you're a homeless guy in Oregon.
Specifically there, people will respect that.
Yeah, it's like dark colors, it rains a lot.
yeah, I get it. I get the reference. I understand American culture, Joe Rogan. Yeah, so, hey, can I do some, promotional activity?
Tell me what it's called. What is it?
This book is called Mentors, and actually I read bits of it again because I knew I was coming here, and I think it's actually pretty good. I wrote quite a lot about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You really love it, huh?
Yeah, I do. My writing is not from you'll understand, not from a technical perspective. I'm not saying this is what I've got to say on open guard right. To transition. I'm talking about how the psychological impact that it's had on me, and also in there about the protocols of going to a group, which as a beginner are very relevant. Like you touched on how ritualized it is. I've got a hunch that the more we emulate and connect to original ways of human behavior, whether that's dietary or hierarchies or organization of groups, I feel that we will feel a sense of greater connection. Now, the thing I got from going to BJJ classes, Genesis, where I go back in England, is all the white belts get changed at one end of the room. The purple belts and above get changed at the other end of the room, which coincidentally or not is where the control for the timer is and the control for the music is and where the kit is. That's all up that room, so end of the room. So all the control is that end. But it begins with sort of dancing around in a circle, doing all of those various exercises. Now lift your knees, now do the shrimping and that kind of stuff. It's that a lower belt shouldn't invite a higher belt to spar or roll. It's as you say, the amount of respect. The bowing, the handshaking at the end of it. It's so it provides such a safe environment in which to deal with the primal. I can see why it's valuable, and it's like, you know, I should have been taught that shit when I was 14, 13, like as mandatorily, so that I didn't come across it. Like, you know, you're not going to be setting fire to fields and allotments and putting frogs on fireworks if you've got a way of dealing with that primal energy when it's coming.
Some people that don't understand that think that you should suppress it somehow. You should just ignore it or suppress it. They don't understand that for men, it really, for a biological male, it really needs to be tackled head on. I mean, you really need to embrace what it is to be a physical male, and it frees you in a lot of ways.
Do you think this might be a comparable moment to in the 1960s when there was a sort of a sense of sexual repression versus sexual free love? You know, the images of Woodstock and flowers in their hair and smoking joints and having sort of sex outdoors in mud or possibly wheat. That this time of like a kind of an anger about maleness, you know, and maleness may not, as you said, it may be a biological male, but it could be the energy of, I don't know, assertion or whatever. These, like, you know, as in grammar, male and female relate to certain words, as in French grammar, where, I don't know, cat is female and dog is male. I don't know the system, I don't speak French, but I'm saying that we have labelled these energies, and it does seem that that there is a particular, what do I want to say, a condemnation of male energy. Do you think it comes from a misunderstanding?
Yeah, and I also think it comes from a big generalization too.
Yeah,
it's easy to do, right? And if you're a woman who's had negative experiences, maybe you've dated men that have been physically abusive, or maybe you've known men that have been physically abusive.